Okay, now here comes the interesting part of the video. So the story I said that I'll make you remember all the differences between exotoxins and endotoxins with a story, right? So here comes the story of the kingdom Mahishmati, right? Now Mahishmati is ruled by a queen called Shivagami. I hope you are all familiar with the movie called Bahubali, right? So Shivagami is the queen of that kingdom, and she has two sons. Apparently, they both are a bit different. That means one son called Balaldev, who is her real son, whereas another son called Bahubali, whom she had actually adopted. So he's an adopted son. So now, as he's adopted, so he's a kind of an outside guy, right? So here, I resembled Bahubali as exotoxin, whereas Balaldev, who is an integral part, who came from his mother's womb, so he's a real son, that is endotoxin, right? So now you need to understand here. For that, actually, I made another thing over here where I expressed here as gas released, right? So this gas released is also directed towards our Bahubali, that is the exotoxin. So if you take Shivagami as the bacteria, then the secretions of that bacteria is actually the exotoxin, whereas endotoxin is an integral part of the bacteria. Here the Balaldev, the endotoxin, is an integral part of the womb of Shivagami, that is the bacteria. Now let's understand a few features about our both heroes here. Those are Bahubali and Balaldev, who are respectively exotoxin and endotoxin. So be clear with that, right? Now there are few things over here, so we'll go one by one. First of all, exotoxin. Now we know that exotoxin is a protein, right? For that I just gave it a muzzle here, right? Muzzle means our exotoxin is protein, right? Now that's the first thing. Whereas endotoxin, we don't know that it is a lipopolysaccharide. For that I gave an image of a fat man. Our Balaldev here is fat, so this is Balaldev is endotoxin, right? So endotoxin is lipopolysaccharide. Now let's go to the second thing. If you see on the t-shirt of Bahubali, you can actually observe a statement here called chota packet bada dhamaka. What do I mean by that, right? Now Bahubali is exotoxin, right? So we also know that for exotoxin only small amount is also enough to cause a large amount of damage, right? So it is potent and fatal, right? Small amount is also enough to cause tremendous damage. So that's why I gave a statement here on t-shirt of Bahubali called chota packet bada dhamaka, right? Whereas when you see here on the t-shirt of Balal Dev here, fat guy, he has a tumbler of something, and that is pointing out towards damage or danger, right? Here it resembles that a tumbler or a large amount. The tumbler means there for endotoxin, large amount should be is needed to cause any damage. Okay, if you see over here, it is chota packet bada dhamaka, only small amount is enough, but here it is large amount to cause any significant damage, right? And when you see here on Bahubali's hand, you can actually see two bands over here. That is, one is a violet purple color band and another is a reddish pink band, right? I hope you got it right. We know that exotoxin is present in both gram positive and gram negative organisms, bacteria, right? Whereas when you see endotoxin here, our Balaldev has only one band, that is a reddish pink band. That is, we know that endotoxin is only present in gram negative bacteria, so that this resembles that. Now if you carefully observe here, there are few other contents added to both Bahubali and Balaldev here. The one thing is here something, it's tissue box, I think so, yeah. Now there are a lot of tissue box on this table, but Bahubali chooses only a specific tissue, right? I hope you got the gist of it, right? So our exotoxin Bahubali is very tissue specific, right? To resemble that, I have drawn specific, he took out specific tissues from all the tissue boxes present in that table. Now we know that endotoxin is not tissue specific. For that, it to resemble that, we know that it causes generalized symptoms rather than tissue specific, right? So for that, I kept a thermometer in Balal Dev's mouth to resemble that. It causes generalized symptoms like fever, and there are other things called shock and etc. But to just resemble that generalized symptoms, I've given this thing called thermometer in his mouth, right? Now if you see here carefully, our Bahubali exotoxin is under trouble. He is in the midst of a fire, which is actually danger. This is to resemble that exotoxin is heat sensitive, right? When you look at our Balal Dev, that is the endotoxin, he is actually thumping the fire with his feet. This is to resemble that endotoxin is heat stable or heat resistant. Now you know that Bahubali is handsome, right? Our exotoxin is handsome. So if you see here carefully, a lot of aunties are following him, right? With this, you can understand the fact that exotoxin is immunogenic, and aunties here resemble antibodies which are attracted towards our Bahubali, that is the exotoxin, as exotoxin is both pathogenic and immunogenic. Now if you see here carefully, aunties are holding few bottles which says toxoid, right? With this, you can clearly understand that by using exotoxins, you can actually make toxoid vaccines, as they are immunogenic. They'll actually help in formation of antibodies against that particular toxin, right? But when you see our endotoxin Balaldev, he actually seems angry over here, right? So I think so most aunties would not be happy following him. So you can see over here clearly that there is a gate which says closed for all the aunties over there in the line, right? So with this fact, you can understand that endotoxins, which are quite different from exotoxins here, are not allowing antibodies, or you may say that they are not attracted towards the antibodies, whereas exotoxins are attracted towards antibodies. So from this fact, you can understand that endotoxins are not immunogenic, they are only pathogenic. So that's all for the video, guys. I hope you stick till the end. So if you enjoyed the video, so then definitely press that like button if you liked it. So let's meet with another video. Bye bye.